Tennis champ Novak Djokovic and his vaccination status, waiting for answers that could come just hours from now on whether the Australian government will allow him to stay and defend his title in the Australian Open. ABC's Britt Clennett joins us from Hong Kong with the latest. Britt, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. That's right. Djokovic will soon learn whether he can stay in Australia, but there are now questions over the timeline of his COVID infection. This morning, as tennis superstar Novak Djokovic is hours away from fighting his visa cancellation, anti-vaccine protesters and Djokovic supporters gathering outside the Australian Prime Minister's home in Sydney, cheering for the athlete's release. Others throughout the country feel differently.
I think if it's our rule, it's our rule. That's it. No jab, no play. You have to tell the kids like that. You can't tell the adult different rules. Yeah, that's it.
Attorneys for Djokovic will argue his visa be reinstated after the Australian government denied him entry days after receiving a COVID medical exemption to compete in the Australian Open.
They will attempt to argue their case, and in this fraught political environment, the government of the day has got to stand up and be accountable. The opposition will try to attack them. So it doesn't play well for Mr. Djokovic outside of the court, but in the court, it's likely that that justice will prevail in the court.
The Grand Slam champion confined to an immigration detention hotel normally reserved for asylum seekers until his court hearing later today. This as court documents indicate Djokovic's COVID-19 test results came back positive the same day he appeared in public, maskless, as evidenced by these tweeted photos. It is unclear whether the tennis player knew of his COVID status at the time. Serbia's Prime Minister voicing full support of Djokovic and says they managed to get him gluten-free meals and equipment. If he wins the appeal, Djokovic will be able to play in the Grand Slam tournament, facing alongside other tennis greats, many of whom have spoken out against the Serbian player.
I think if it was me that wasn't vaccinated, I wouldn't be getting an exemption.
Djokovic could miss more Australian Opens. If he loses this fight to stay, he could be banned from entering the country for the next 3 years. James?
Thanks, Britt. Yeah, this is just such an extraordinary story.